Hello and welcome to Crypto Ride. My name's Anthony, and in this episode we're going to explore Ethereum and go over why the price has dumped roughly 45% this month and how you could play it going forward. If this is your first time checking out the channel, don't forget to join our community by subscribing if you like what you see. You'll get regular updates about the cryptocurrency space and everything that's going on. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to all of our subscribers, new and old. Since the last video I posted about Dash, I'm actually over 100 subscribers now, at 121 as you can see there, and it's awesome, and I just want to thank you guys for your support. But let's get into the video. Okay, as you look at Ethereum here, you'll see the price is $196, which is pretty crazy to see. When I first started investing, it was actually over 1,000, and it's down, as you can see over here, 85%, almost 86% from its all-time high, which I believe was around $1,400 or somewhere in that ballpark. Now, it's decreased 62, almost 63% in the last 90 days, and 33% in the last week alone. But what's really interesting about this is if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, it's still pretty high. So that tells you there's a lot of interest in Ethereum, whether that be positive or negative. And I know really what we've been seeing this week is a lot of people going short on Ethereum, meaning they're banking on the price going down even further. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first I want to show you an article I found online. And yeah, it's CNBC, and I know a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space don't love CNBC, and I'm not saying I do, but it does have some good facts here, and I'm just going to ask you, for the sake of this video and just for us to learn, let's just look at it objectively. Ether plunges more than Bitcoin, frustrating investors who believed it was the better alternative. So as you guys know, Ether had a huge year. Ether was the star cryptocurrency last year, way outperforming its predecessor, Bitcoin. But 2018 has been a different story. Now in this video, we're going to talk about some of the reasons, like I mentioned, why the price is declining. So last year in 2017, tons of initial coin offerings, or ICOs, built their applications on the Ethereum blockchain. Investors saw that as an opportunity. So people were thinking that if this is a project or a crypto that people were building on, then of course it would just grow and grow and grow. The problem is that a lot of those projects have since gone belly up or been outed by regulators as frauds. And there's been a lot of ICOs you guys probably are familiar with, but if you're not, a lot of these cryptocurrency projects were literally just scams, whether they be Ponzi schemes or anything of that nature. And that's partly due to the fact, or solely due to the fact, that there's not really many or any strong regulations, at least there weren't, getting back into last year. Now we're starting to see some regulations come through in different areas around the world. But yeah, a lot of these projects started going down. So as you go down further, people started building apps and software, but the market got ahead of itself. And they're realizing you have to be in it for the long haul, and some investors don't have the patience. And this has been a theme that I've talked about in a lot of my videos. This whole idea of patience. When I first invested, I mentioned I got in January, and I was someone who got in out of the excitement of the potential of the speculation and the speculative market. And, I just heard these tales of glory from some of my friends, telling me that they got in and they've made thousands of dollars just by investing a couple hundred. So I was, one of those people who, I don't want to say I FOMO'd in, but I was one of those new people that came in after that large run in December 2017. Now for me, I really took to the technology, and I really believe in cryptocurrency as a whole, and blockchain itself for that matter. Since then, obviously, a lot of the weak hands have left, and what we're looking at now are really the people that are left that are either true believers or people that got in early enough, meaning, back in 2010 or 2012 or 2016, and they are people that got in and are still up despite the extreme fall as of late. And if you're watching this video, I would probably imagine you're one of them too. Yeah, we're going to have to be patient with cryptocurrency. And, just if I just give you my 2 cents, based on what I've seen, I know the market has the potential to rebound and go up really fast, but I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think at some point this bear market is just going to have to play itself out, and I don't know when that is, when that's going to be. A lot of people talk about like the end of year prices because historically December and September, for that matter, have been huge months, but the historic trends and the months that used to be really good have not been doing that this year. So, I don't know that it's really going to even happen before the end of 2018. So I think patience is going to be the key here. But in regards to Ethereum, the next thing we'll talk about is the competition that they have. Of course, it goes on to talk about EOS here. A lot of people branded EOS the Ethereum killer, but EOS isn't the only contender. We also have Neo, Cardano, Quantum, Tezos, Ethereum Classic, and one of my favorites and a crypto that I made a video about, Holochain, which I think has a ton of potential to compete with Ethereum. And I'll put the link up in the top of the video if you want to check out my Holochain video. You definitely should. That coin has been one of the biggest movers, if not the biggest mover over the last 2 months. But Ethereum has some issues, has some scalability issues, has some efficiency issues. And, hopefully those kinks will get worked out over time. But one thing I think I really want to emphasize here is that nothing has gone fundamentally wrong with Ethereum since the prices started coming down. Yeah, there are other players in the space, but Ethereum is still the #2 cryptocurrency worldwide, and it's got a whole bunch of liquidity, and I think when the market turns around, you're going to see Ethereum turn around with it. None of this is professional financial advice. Of course, mind you, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. So always do your own research, but a large part of what we're seeing is the FUD. It is just fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I want to go back for a second and talk about these ICOs. Now, a lot of these ICOs that invested in Ethereum and built their applications on the Ethereum blockchain also raised their funds in Ethereum. So they raised millions, in some case billions. I think EOS raised, $4 billion. And let's just talk about EOS for a second. EOS raised all this money in Ethereum and since have moved and merged to their own blockchain. So a lot of that money left Ethereum and is now on the EOS blockchain. And that's just one example of one crypto that did that. But a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, they have all this money in Ethereum that they raised, and they started watching the price of Ethereum go down. So what did they do? They liquidated the money that they initially raised from their ICO and converted it to fiat, to whatever currency, their sovereign currency is, whatever country they're in. Because they started saying to themselves, oh my God, Ethereum is dumping. We raised, let's say, $3 million. I don't want to turn into $1 million or even less than that. So let's just get out while we can. And it was this herd mentality, and a bunch of ICOs started doing that. So if you're not aware of that, it's a really big deal. Okay, and I just wanted to make sure I covered that in this video. I think what happened was once the price started going down, it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy because remember, investing is largely emotional, especially in a really young space or asset class like cryptocurrency. So, people just start seeing blood in the streets and they sell out of fear or because they just can't handle the losses, getting back to those weak hands, or they move their money out into fiat or into another crypto or to Tether. We've seen Tether have a big rise over the last couple months in volume, or just into Bitcoin because that's the safest one. But it's really interesting to see because Ethereum, of course, used to be, and hopefully will be again, one of the more stable cryptos. So really kind of just interesting stuff that's going on right now. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is shorting the market. And I'm going to read this little passage here, and then I want to show you something else. But Ethereum is also dealing with short sellers. Earlier this year, peer-to-peer trading platform BitMEX came up with a swap product that allows investors to bet against Ether, which former Goldman Sachs analyst Timothy Tam said has dampened prices. So now I want to talk about a short squeeze. You can see here a short squeeze is a rapid increase in the price of a stock that occurs when there's a lack of supply and an excess of demand for the stock. Short squeezes result when short sellers cover their positions on a stock, resulting in buying volume that drives the stock price up. And that's the squeeze. When people talk about a squeeze, it's the price going up quickly because short positions are liquidated. Because remember, in order to profit off of your short, you then have to buy. So the last thing I want to talk about are the 3 potential support levels that I think people might be targeting to activate and liquidate, rather, I guess I should say, their shorts, where I think the short squeeze might be triggered. So those are the blue numbers over here. So $184, $149 to the right of your screen, and $88, meaning Ethereum could conceivably fall to $184, and that could be a level where some people have shorts that they're going to liquidate, meaning that could be a level where the price could start to come up, or they could wait till around the $150 mark if they are feeling a little bit more risky and they want to take some chances. You can see it fall that low, and if that doesn't get liquidated there, we could actually see Ethereum fall. I'm not saying it's probable, but it's possible that Ethereum could fall all the way down to $88 below 100. And if I see 150, or of course if I see $88 for me, that's going to be a point that I buy in and I invest to hold long term. That's where I think the short squeezes could get activated. Sometime within, I'd say, the next week or two, if you're wondering when. Of course, these are just my educated guesses. I have no idea what's really going to happen, but this is just what I'm seeing based off of the charts and the technical analysis that I've done. And the other thing that I think is pretty interesting is this level right around here, around $350. That's where we've seen a little bit of resistance right here. We saw, support right here. We saw resistance here. So right around that $350, $360 mark, that could be a point where the price raises to. Now, I don't know that it'll go that high. I'm not making a prediction that it will, but I do see Ethereum in the short term. If you're looking to swing trade or short it, I do see Ethereum potentially coming up at least to $300 or $310. Of course, like I said before, don't take my word for it. I'm just a YouTuber, and I'm just an average guy telling you what I am seeing. But that's really what I think is going on, and those are my short-term predictions with Ethereum. Long-term, I'm still bullish on Ethereum. I'm still holding my Ethereum, and I think it's going to go up. I just don't think it's going to happen overnight. And I think if you believe in Ethereum, you're just going to have to hold it and be patient before we see any sort of gains, because this bear market is relentless, as many of you guys know. On that note, I'm going to end this video. Don't forget to like if you're still with me. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. And I thank you for watching. And, enjoy the ride, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.